Before I played Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers on the NES for the first time, I thought it was going to be a game that would suck, but after playing through all the levels however, I was surprised. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is based on the 1980s Disney cartoon, featuring two detective chipmunks, and has got to be one of my most favourite animated Disney cartoons. In the game you can choose to play as either Chip or Dale, and you also have the option of playing through the game by yourself in single player, or teaming up with a friend and beating the levels in two-player co-op mode. Basically, the story starts out with the Rescue Rangers getting a new assignment. Their neighbour Mandy has lost her kitten, and it is up to the Rescue Rangers along with the help of Gadget to find it. However, by the end of the first stage, it becomes apparent that there was no lost kitten after all, and it was a clever trap set up by none other than the Fat Cat himself, to lure the Rescue Rangers there. Fat Cat informs Chip and Dale that he has kidnapped Gadget, and if they want to get her back, they'll have to go to Fat Cat's casino. The game itself is a nice and simple 2D side-scrolling platformer, with colourful backgrounds and graphics. Your character is able to interact with certain objects in the levels in order to be able to defeat the many enemies you encounter. Examples are that you are able to pick up boxes and chuck them to the sides as well as up. A cool thing you are able to do with these boxes is if you press down on the controller while carrying them, you will hide underneath them. This does remind me a little of Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid. Other things you are able to interact with in the game are things like apples, and I find it quite strange that a chipmunk is capable of lifting a big apple. The game does offer variety in its gameplay, though the majority of the time all you'll be doing is picking up boxes and chucking them at the enemies. The game is kept from getting stale by some amusing gameplay, for example jumping up and down for about 3 times on a tap so you can turn it off and proceed through the level. God, I love fucking closing taps. You can deal with irritating switches to get them to the off position, and you can also ride the boat for a short period of time. There are various boss fights in the game, which also add to the fun, and the bosses are imaginative as some can be quite tricky to defeat. An example of a boss which can be difficult to defeat is this boss battle with a hideous fish, where he is constantly moving backwards and forwards, while rapidly throwing a substance I don't know the name of. You have to move constantly at the same pace with the boss, in order to dodge what is firing at you, and at the same time throw the ball at it, which can be proved as a bit of a challenge. Now there are a lot of items to collect when going through levels, and if you are like me who examines everything in a game, so you'll be able to gather as many items and secrets as possible, I pointlessly lift up almost every box I come across, because I want to make sure I revive my heart containers and health. There are these flower items which you will find in 99% of the game, and I'm not sure what they really do, but I still collect as many as I can of them. There are also very useful acorns which will fill your heart containers up, and it is advisable to keep a lookout for them. Also, I forgot to mention that in the game you are only allowed to have 3 heart containers, so you will need to go about the stages with extra care. There are also stars located in the levels which you can collect, and you will get 1 up and extra continues if you die. Also, if you're lucky enough to find a fly called Zipper in certain boxes, then you can speed through a section of a level while your trusty friend Zipper protects you and knocks out every enemy around you. You are also given the chance to collect useful 1-up items once you clear a zone. On these parts, the same items can be located in the same boxes throughout the game. Something that I love about this game is that some of the enemies you encounter are stupid and some are funny. Take a look at my favourite type of enemy in the game. The bird literally just stands there and waits for you to knock him out of a box. And how about this rat? If you go behind him, he doesn't even turn around to attack you, so fire away with the boxes. I also find this enemy funny. When you throw a box at the bird, it takes the box, shoves the box up its arsehole, and fires it straight back at you. The way to defeat these bird enemies is to slide the box on ground level. That got it. Something which is great about Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is this variety of backgrounds. They are fun, imaginative, as well designed, and sometimes remind me a little bit of James Bond 2, codename Robocod, though only in the creative, imaginative background sense. However, codename Robocod does have more creative backgrounds. There is just so much variety to the levels in this game. Take a look at the variety of backgrounds in this game. That should have proved my point. Moving on from what I want to talk about, I want to talk about the various soundtracks in this game. There are a few catchy soundtracks which never seem to get dull or misused and always blend perfectly with the game. Just listen to the soundtrack. Some areas of this game can be tricky, which is a good thing as it makes the game a lot more fun and challenging. Take this area of the game for example. The pipes on the walls on each side continuously pop out and go backwards and forwards, so you cannot stay on a pipe that long. You'll have to make quick and timed jumps in order to get from pipe to pipe and to make it to the top. It is advisable to stand on pipes which have boxes underneath them, so you won't fall and die, obviously. And it also gives you time to think about your next move. This area of the game is pretty challenging and may take a little bit of practicing and retries to complete it. Once you have completed zones A to G, you think you have completed the entire game, but are surprised to find yourself in a rocket and find out that there are 3 more zones to have fun with, which is obviously zones H, I and J. So the fun and challenges will last a little while longer. So to come to a conclusion with Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers on the NES, it is a fun, imaginative and simple side-scrolling platformer, which will keep you entertained with its fun gameplay and awesome music. You will enjoy just staring at its level designs. The game also captures the Disney series pretty well and has a storyline which is very easy to follow. I also forgot to mention earlier on in my review that this game was developed by Capcom, and Capcom usually make great games, and this is one of them. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers was a great platformer for its time, and it still is today. Definitely a piece of 8-bit retro gaming to check out.